Welcome to another live stream, and today's topic is C-style arrays or C-style array decay, right? Maybe you should do topics like this before if you dive already really deep into C++, but I'm not using that much C-style arrays, so I have to do the topic afterwards, and we're gonna do it today. So we started last time about the topic C-style arrays, and today we're gonna go over the topic C-style arrays decay. Hopefully, we can just end up the C-style array thing today. Okay, right. 1 second. Oh yeah, now I can hear myself a little bit better. So the C-style array passing challenge. Is it a challenge though? Okay, the designer of the C language had a problem. Consider the following simple program. Something is odd here. Wait 1 second. I fixed it. Okay. So we have print, then we have the input variable wall. It's a wall, and then we have std cout wall, right? That's what we have here, and then okay. Then we have this int x, this initialization, print x. Okay. Which kind of problem? It's an integer. This is an integer. The input variable is correct. Should be not a problem. Am I missing something? I mean, it would disallow if this 5 would be, for example, a 4.0 or something like 4.4 or something like this. Then it would be not compiled, but okay, let's keep reading. When print x is called, when print x is called, the value of the argument x 5 is copied into the parameter wall. Within the body of the function, the value of the wall 5 is printed to the console. Because x is cheap to copy, there's no problem here. Yeah, it's all about his copy thingies again. I got it. I not have it like. Yeah, the thing is like, if is it a problem though? Right? In this scenario, I would say it's not a problem. If you have something else, yeah, like string, yeah, of course you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a performance problem maybe then. So within the body of the function, the value of wall 5 is printed to, we have it. Now consider the following similar program which uses 1000 element C-style integer array instead of a single integer. Okay, let's see. Ooh, yeah, okay, then the copy is not that cheap anymore. Yeah. Oh yeah. Print the value of the first element, and we have this created this insane like array here. Define an array with 1000 elements. X0 is initialized to 5. So by the way, guys, if you're wondering why my English is not that good, because it's not my native language. I'm trying to get better though. I'm trying to get better, but for me it's kind of hard. So this program also compiles and prints the expected value 5 to the console. While the code in this example is similar to the code in the prior example, mechanically, it works a bit different than you might expect. We will explain this below. And that is due to the solution that the C designer came up to solve for 2 major challenges. First, copying a 1000 element array every time a function is called is expensive, and even more so if the elements are an expensive to copy type, so we want to avoid that. But how? A C doesn't have a reference, so using a pass by reference to avoid making a copy of a function argument wasn't an option. Second, we want to be able to write a single function that can accept array arguments or of different length. Ideally, our print element 0 function in the example above. What? Did I miss something? Ooh, yeah. Okay. Above should be callable with arrays arguments of any length. Since element 0 isn't guaranteed to exit, we don't want to have to write a different function for every possible array length that we want to use as an argument. But how? C has no syntax to specify any length arrays, nor does it support templates, nor can arrays of one length be converted to an array of another length. What this means? Oh, I have to check. Sorry. I just broke here. I'm not able to read it. I'm not gonna try.
Presumably.
Okay. Okay, what does this mean? Okay. Presumably. Because doing so would involve making an expensive copy. Okay. The designers of the language, of the C language, came up with a clever solution inherited by C++ for compatibility reasons. Oh, sometimes the saying German is hard, but English can be also hard. That solves for both of these issues. Okay, let's see. We have that one. Okay, it doesn't make a copy. Ooh, yeah, it doesn't make a copy because it's handled more like a pointer, right? Print the value of the first element. And then we have define an array with 7 elements. What? You can do something like... What? Why you should do something like... Oh. Surprise, surprise. Define an array with 7 elements. You can define an array with 7 elements and you can say the input will be something like this. But does this even matter then? This is interesting. Okay, keep reading. Somehow the above example passes a 7-element array to a function expecting a 1000 element array. I don't know what's going to happen, right? Without any copies being made in this lesson, we will explore how this works. We will also take a look at why the solution that this C designer picked is dangerous and not well suited for use in modern C++. And why? And why I have to use it then? Why? I mean, what kind of scenario could it be that you have to use like a C-style array instead of an... You have to learn about. Yeah, I have to learn about. But if you have like this kind of argument, you have to learn about also about assembly, how an array is actually working, like is implemented, right? How it's looking in assembly code. Because you might have some code already written in C, which you have to use in your library. Oh, this is a really good. To be honest, this is a really good point because maybe you're using all the library and they can't change it up anymore. So then you have to use it like that. But is it then not even like... Is it not even good to use like an old library if it's have implementation like this? Because it could be in a bigger project also like a problem. You know what I mean? Or can cause problems. It seems like this backward compatibility thingy is also like a how should I name this? I need to wait 1 second. I need the English word for that. Let me see. Two-sided sword, right? Can we say that? So instead of rewriting everything in proper, he should like... I mean, I think you could have like a really deep... Oh, I got a YouTube short video. What is this? One second. The thing is, right? You're getting these new features. You have this backwards compatibility thing, but then still you have to use the old code because you have old libraries, right? And I mean, there is an argument for. I mean, you would probably end up to use the new features and the old features, and then you're mixing that up. I don't know if this is like really good. You know what I mean? So, could you say it's the same if you're gonna design a car or something, right? You could always use the same frame, but there will be a time that it make no sense to use a new frame. The old frame, sorry. The old frame, it doesn't make sense anymore then. Because the new engine will not fit or whatever, and aerodynamics. You get my point? I think you got my point, right? I'm not 100% sure about this backward compatibility thingy. I think it makes sense. Otherwise, you have to rewrite everything. In the other end, you're mixing up the new features with the old features, and I don't know if this is even also a good thing. You know what I mean? But if it contains millions of lines of code, it would be very time-consuming to rewrite. But you would end up, if you know the problem, it's like you're investing in a library, or you're investing in an environment with some, for example, if you're gonna add new code to it, it's kind of like also risky. You know what I mean? Because there will be maybe a point that you have to rewrite everything, and then it's getting. And you're adding more lines to it. That means to rewrite it, it will be even harder then, you know? If that makes sense. You might be relying on an external library rather than a building on top. Yeah, but I'm not sure about this backward compatibility thing. I think it's a good thing, right? But maybe there should be some norms or something for that, right? I think maybe it should be something like that. There has to be a start that you have to replace the old code with the new code or something, you know? That you not have to do it by once or something like this. I don't know. I really don't know. Because otherwise you maybe end up to rewrite everything, and that's also probably you're not gonna do it. Because it's just too expensive. But if you're like investing like always a little bit time into the library to imagine I have a physics games engine written in C and you would like to use it. Then you have to know how the C code works. And later when I push my library to pretty C++ code, it might be done in a way such that your library doesn't have to make too many changes. Hey, Sergey, how are you doing, man? Greetings, friends and coders. Oh, man. But it isn't a problem, right? This backwards compatibility thing. I could see that. Or am I wrong? Am I? I mean, there is a benefit, right? If you would have like always changes and you have to rewrite your full library every 3 years because of the new features or whatever, you know what I mean? It's also like it's slowing down the developing process or something like that if you have to rewrite it. But in the other hand, you have probably a lot of developer that they still using the stuff like from 10 years ago and don't want to upgrade or want to learn something new. I think there should be some rules. In a company, I would implement some rules, right? So, for example, if you have a library and using this library, and the library is really, for you as a company, is really important, then I would say, okay, if you have some free time, we should invest some time to update the library. Like not like once everything, like every day a little bit, if we have free time for it, right? If we rely on the library. Starting in this C#. Well, not the best student, low. I only need to understand, but the teacher is, how can I say, like a Sega rally? Lol, what do you mean? Sergey, what do you mean? I mean, you have, if you're learning C#, I just checked it a little bit from a friend of mine. You not have to do pointers. That's pretty good. Otherwise, you not really understand how memory is working. This is like not that great. If you have some tips, okay, one tip. I don't know how the C# world is. Maybe Edward can say something about this topic. But what I figured out in C++, there is really a lot of the problem is in the beginning, you don't know if something is wrong because you want to have a good source, and the source is actually, and you don't realize that the source is not good, right? And you're learning actually stuff that's not correct. So first thing, you need like a good source, right? Maybe a book is good, right? Just go on the website, check for like a 4 or 5 star book in C# or something, I don't know. And then you can try to find a good source, because you have nowadays a lot of sources in the internet and they're actually not that great. I just realized the code is wrong there sometimes in the source, if I'm checking the source of the website. You know what I mean? And videos, YouTube videos, the thing is, in the beginning you don't know if a YouTube video is good or bad. I mean, this is the truth. After some times, if you're getting a little bit more experience, you know if the guy in front of you is a little experienced or not, you know. And that's the problem. That's the problem with YouTube, because some people, it seems like they are learning via YouTube. I mean, I'm learning also via Twitch and YouTube, right? But I have chat, right? If I'm saying something dumb or something like not correctly, I'm getting roasted like immediately, right? So, I mean, it's good. I really like this. Maybe some people don't like it, but I like it, right? So, to have a good discussion about some topics here. Imagine thinking chat knows stuff. I can't. But the thing is, you have a lot of people, or if you have at least like 4 or 5 people in chat. I mean, you're a developer, eFool is a developer. We have some decent developers here. Well, I think they're decent at least, from my point of view. And they're gonna correct each other, right? If someone is saying something that is not correct. So we can have a discussion about the topic. And also, Sergey, I don't know if you have it for C#, but I think Microsoft have some tutorials for C#, right? We have something like in C++, it's called C++ reference, right? And it's for C++, it's a skill by your own to read this stuff, right? Because it's special, right? I'm still not able to read everything, but I'm still a learner. I'm getting every day a little bit better, but you can then learn like everything from this kind of source. But you need already a little bit skill to read this stuff like this. And I'm pretty sure you have something like this for C# also. And if I'm if I'm remembering correctly, it's on the Microsoft homepage somewhere. And you have this kind of base where everything is like defined. And I would check also your module for studying, because you can just check your, if you have Informatics 1 or something like this, I would just check what is the requirements for the exams. And I hope they're not outdated, you know, because sometimes professors also changing and they're not. But do you have the requirements? What do you have to know for the exams? And then you could theoretically learn it by yourself, right? But if you have not a good source, if you're not, I think to have a really good book, if you have a good book, it can be also really good to learn via book. Every day a little bit, and you're getting better and better and better. And I would check what you have to know for your exams, right? And then I would buy a book. Then I would go through the book and check which kind of topics I have to know the topic what I have to know for the exams. That makes sense. Yeah, because I did also like a lot of bad learning actually. I got to hear so many times roasted to say, yeah, okay, today I'm gonna watch a YouTube video, and everyone was like, no, Sven, no, not again, please. For example, for learning C++, you have to learn C++. This website is, I would say, it's, some people say not super crazy good, but I really like it. It's good. It's a good source. I mean, it's at least not wrong. So. No problem, man. No problem. By the way, when is your exam? Don't say that you have it next week. Well, when is your exam? No, only in 2 weeks. Oh, okay. But you can learn a lot. Still. 2 weeks is something, right? If you have, yeah. I mean, this is the classics, right? 2 weeks to learn stuff like this, yeah. Okay. Good luck, bro. Good luck. No problem. Okay, we keep going. Array to pointers conversion, right? This is what we have to do. Okay, here. Somehow the above example passes. Yeah, okay. It's fine. Somehow the above example passes a 7-element array to a function expecting a 1000 element array without any copies being made. Yeah, okay. In this lesson, we will explore how this works. We will also take a look at why the solution the C designer picked is dangerous and not well suited for use in modern C++. But first, we need to cover 2 subtopics. Actually, I not expected that the topic about the C array will be that big. Really, I thought, okay, I'm just reading 2 sides of paper and that's it. But it seems like it's a little bit more than 2 sides, to be honest. I mean, yesterday already, how many hours? 3 hours? Yeah. And that was also a little bit deep talk into the topics. And we have also enum, right? We ended up with enum and stuff like that, I remember. Yeah, okay. Array to pointer conversion, array decay. In most cases, when a C-style array is used in an expression, the array will be implicitly converted into a pointer. We have implicitly converted. Why is it implicit? Why is it implicit? Right, explicit was it if the compiler is going to do it, right? If we are going to force it, it will be implicitly, right? Am I wrong? Am I mixing up stuff? No. Explicit is compiler based. Correct? Edward? Yes, no? Someone else? Okay, I'm keep going. I think implicitly is like if we forcing it, right? Explicit was like if the compiler is going to handle the situation by his own. Yeah. Into a pointer to the element type. Initialize with the address of the first elements with index 0. Hey guys, I know you are super hyped that I'm gonna read this word, but I'm not gonna try.
colloquially,
Colloquially.
colloquially,
Oh no! Colloquially. Oh man, no. Umgangssprachlich.
colloquially,
Colloquially. Colloquially. Oh man, this is holy, man. And this is like German is hard though, but English has also some really good names. Yeah, words. Either C-style cast or explicit cast. Wait, I'm gonna check it up. Implicit and explicit. I'm pretty sure that explicit was like implicit was if you're gonna force something. Explicit was like if the compiler is gonna handle this iteration, right? Let me see. Type conversion in C++ is of two types: implicit and explicit. Implicit type conversion is done. Oh, nein! Nein! Wirklich? Oh nein! Why, Sven? Brain, please! Why mix it up, man? Implicit is by the compiler automatically. Mann. Das war mal ein richtiges Eigentor. Implicit, indirect. Yeah, makes sense, right? Explizit. Direkt. Okay, sorry guys. My fault. This is called array decay. Or just decay for short. You can see this in the following program. Okay, IMAP for stud bool alpha. What is bool alpha doing? Okay, doesn't matter. Sorry, it does matter. So with our integer from 5, we have, okay, 5. Our array has elements of type integer. Yeah. First, let's prove that array decays into an integer pointer. No, we have to say in a pointer from the type integer, right? Into a pointer from type integer. Then we have auto evaluation cause ARR to decay. Type deduction should deduce the type into integer. Asterisk. Stud C out, stud bool alpha. Type ID. Okay, then we're gonna check it. Prints true if the type of okay. Okay, now let's prove that the pointer holds the address of the first elements of the array. What is bool alpha doing, by the way, guys? Okay, now already from eFool the answer, right? Look it up if you don't know what this is doing. Just go on Cpp reference and just check what this thing is doing. Why are you asking? Here's Cpp reference. Just read it up. I'm doing it. Okay, bool alpha. So enable bool alpha flag in the stream str as if by calling blah 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 blah. So stud bool alpha is an input-output manipulator. So it may be called with an expression such as out stud bool alpha for any out of type stud basic O stream, or with an expression such as in for any in of type stud basic stream. Okay, we're manipulating something, right? So we have default true. Hey, what's up is also here. Hey man, how you doing? Okay, I'm not understanding it 100%. Okay, we have the string. This is a string stream. Then we have default true. And we say this is true. Okay, I see this. Okay. So it's wrong, false. Okay. Then we have std bool alpha. So we have 6 here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. True, false pass as true, false. It's just output the string true, false instead of 1, 0. Not a big deal. Yeah. It's just sometimes it's kind of special, you know? Yep. Now let's prove that the pointer holds the address of the first element of the array. It's just, actually it's just proof of concept, right? What's gonna happen here, right? So the problem if you're doing something like that with the pointer. So the problem is if you have a pointer that points to something, and for example the array is already decayed or something, right? The data is not existing anymore. Then we can get a segfault or something. Is this the case? Is this the topic probably? Yeah, probably it is, right? It's not that safe because we're not going to use a reference or something like that. So on the author's machine, this printed true. There's nothing special about the pointer that an array decays into. It is a normal pointer that holds the address of the first element. Similarly, a const array. It's a const array, okay? A const integer array of size 5 decays into a pointer to const integer asterisk. Tip. In C++, there are few common cases where an C-style array doesn't decay. When used as an argument to size of or type ID. When taking the address of the array using operator. And, okay. When passed as a member of a class type. So the thing is, something like this you have to repeat always, right? You have to relearn it. Otherwise, you're going to lose this kind of information. Or you're just saving in your brain, there is some rules to it. There are some rules that I have to look up if I'm going to work with C-style arrays. Because I remember there was something that a C-style array is not going to decay. So when passed by reference. Because C-style arrays decay into a pointer in most cases, it's common fallacy? What does this mean? I don't know. Let's check. So.
Fallacy. Oh, I like this word. It's a common fallacy to believe arrays are pointers. Oh! Okay. I think I have to cut something out of my YouTube video yesterday. This is not the case. An array object is a sequence of elements. There is a pointer object just holds an address. Yeah, we have just a conversion, right? We have just implicit conversion. So an array is a sequence of elements. The type information of an array and the decayed array is different. In the example above, the array ARR has type integer 5, whereas the decayed array has the type integer asterisk. Notably, is it called notably? Dude, this is today a really good English lesson, I guess. Notably, the array type integer 5 contains length information, whereas the decayed array pointer type integer asterisk does not. So then we have the problem if we have no end, right? We could have then... Let's keep reading. Okay, this is... Oh yeah. So an array is not a pointer. But it will be then converted into a pointer if you're putting it into the function argument. Can we say it like that? Is this correct? A key inside. A decayed array pointer does not know how long the array it is pointed to is. What?
A decay array pointer does not know how long the array it is pointing to is. Yeah, it makes sense. The term decay indices indicates this loss of length type information. That makes sense. Do you have to know so much stuff about C++? And you still have the old features, but that some libraries may be using, and then I don't want to know how a big project is looking in C++. I think it can be really special. Really special. Subscription, a C-style array actually applies operator angle brackets to the decayed pointer, because the C-style array decays to a pointer when evaluated. When a C-style array is subscripted, the subscript is actually operating on the decayed array pointer. Now I have to check up what this means even. Subscript, tiefgestelltes Zeichen. By the way, guys, how was your day? How was your weekend? Ah, this is a subscript. You need to write code. Remember, C++, do you write code every day? And not every day, but the last 2-3 weeks, I write a lot of stuff like even off stream or something like this, you know, with this quicksort. Last time I tried to make my quicksorts faster. I was able to change just the algorithm a little bit and with the swap feature in C++, and I was able, I think, to make it 30 times faster than before. So yeah, you have to rewrite a lot of stuff again. Even if you would ask me, okay, can you make now a hash table? I could, but I have to look it up again. Maybe I could do it like with autocomplete and would able to do it, but I know still the principle, but you have to repeat the stuff, right? It's not enough to read it one time and that's it. Maybe for some people it's enough, but I have to repeat stuff, right? So I think it is important. Even if you have this topic today, what we have with implicit and explicit, I mixed it up, right? Because the topic is 2 months ago. So yeah, should not happen by now. Should not happen some stuff like this. So what I want to do, I want to go over the C topic, right, with the C-style array, and then I gonna try to write my algorithm with the C-style array. That's what I'm gonna try, right? But first I have to learn the basic about the C-style array. Subscript is actually operating on the decayed array pointer. What does this mean even? When a C-style array is subscripted, what does subscripted means? The subscript is actually operating on the... I have to translate it. Boah, das macht's nicht besser, Alter. Ah, subscript operator. Ah, okay. Thanks a lot, man. So we have that one. So subscript decayed array to get element 2 prints 5. This is a decayed array? Oh, even this will get... that will be a pointer then? That will be a decayed array pointer then, if I'm doing something like this? This makes sense, right? Do we have here then an implicit conversion? subscript decayed array to get element 2, prints 5. Decayed array pointer. Because C-style arrays decays to a pointer when evaluated. Yeah. That's gonna decay to a pointer then. Oof. Oof. Okay, interesting. We can also use... So the expression array 7 caused an array to decay into, then the subscript, it's applied to the pointer. So now I have a question, right? So, for example, if I have in my exams the question, what is a C-style array? And I have also some multiple choice question, right? Is a C-style array... If I'm going to point to every element, that's not correct, right? That's not a C-style array. If I would have an answer like that every element of the C-style array have a pointer, like so 9 will have a pointer, 7 will have a pointer, and 5 will have a pointer. That's not how a C-style array is working, correct? That's correct or what? Is it correct or? So every integer will have his own pointer or what? Okay, each element does not have a pointer. Yeah, I have just a pointer to the array then. It's gonna decay, right? If I'm gonna use it, it's gonna decay and I will have a pointer to the starting position of the pointer in the memory. That's how it's working, right? And then I will have this slash 0, so I know where the end is, correct? That's how a C-style array is working. Can you say that? Who can you repeat it? Sorry for my bad English. So, okay. I would define what a C-style array is. I have a C-style array, and if I want to get a value, the C-style array is gonna decay, right? So, and I will have a pointer. In this case, from type integer, that points on the beginning on this array thingy. Like, it's gonna point to the 9 then. And the end will be defined with slash 0. It's just gonna get decay. It's just gonna be decayed if I want to evaluate it. Do you know what kind of problem I have, I think, at the moment? A const integer array 5 is an object of type const integer 5 is an C array object. Yeah. What do you want to say with that? Const integer array 5 is an object of type const integer 5. Yeah. Yeah. No, the array doesn't decay right away when you declare it in line 5. Yeah, only if I'm gonna evaluate it. It's gonna decay here if I want to get the value. So now maybe I have a problem in my exams. What I'm gonna do if I have like 7 or 6 wrong multiple choice answers, and actually there is no right answer in the sentence because maybe the professor did a mistake. Probably the professor not going to do a mistake or something like that. But you mean this except C++, there are a few common cases where in C-style array doesn't decay when using an argument size of type ID operator. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. So how is a C-style array then? You can just say C-style array is, in this case, const integer object. With this of 5. The question is if I'm gonna initialize the C-style array. Am I have already a pointer? No, right? I mean, we could check, right? We just could check. Just go to go. It's not a pointer. But how it's gonna look in assembly? So the answer would be, if someone is just have like this question, what is the C-style arrays? Would be like it is an object of type const int 5. Angle brackets 5. Answer. That's the answer, correct? Oh, interesting. Wow. Did we have some optimization here? Probably, right? Oh, come on. Huh. I had an argument about this with another streamer. When I talk about C array, he keep asking about what I look like in the memory, what it look like in assembly. Okay. Was it me with me? What's up? There's a difference about assembly and memory. I know. I don't give a shit what it look like, but if you really want to know, then it look like a pointer. But then it's like to have multiple choice question about C-style array. It's like, you know what I mean? You can be so fast wrong. So would it be just if you're gonna have the question, what is the C-style array, and then you're just saying, okay, it's an object of const in this example const integer. What would be your answer then? I mean, okay. Angle brackets operator is not like is a pointer, right? Aye. Hey Tommy, how you doing? It's definitely on the stack. It's definitely on the stack. Okay. Yeah, the question is, what is about where are the values stored, right? So so we know if we evaluate then the C-style array, it's gonna decay, and it's gonna decay to a pointer, and we will have a pointer to the first element of the array, and that in this case it would be the 9, correct? But if it's not getting evaluated, we will not have a pointer. We just we're just gonna have an object, correct? And the question is, will we have a pointer to the object? I don't know. Yeah, but then it's not really good to have a question like this in an exam. Like if you have, for example, a first semester or something like this, this is like, I don't know, maybe I should get the exam over tomorrow and we can go through the questions. Because it was like 7 false statements and you have to put the correct one, you know? So, and I was like not happy with the answers, like, you know, from this. I'm not even sure if, like, you know what I mean? Did you do good on exam? Now, you ask me that? I'm 35 years old. Do you think I'm doing well in exams? Huh? It seems not. I'm really bad. Yeah, that's the problem what I have at the moment. I had already, like, sometimes with a professor, like, discussion about some topics because I said, no, this is, my point of view, not 100% correct. And it's even like, you know, kind of counterproductive. If you get my point, because I know he want to have this kind of answer, but in the other hand, it's like, for me, not 100% correct. Sometimes, you know, it always depends on the point of view, right? If you say how it's going to look in assembly, how it's going to look there, what is the definition in C, for example, and so on. If you touch assembly, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, probably you should do it like... Okay, what would be your answer? What's up? What would be your answer? What is a C-style array? I mean, you could have the answer, for example, what is a C-style array? It's an object. Oh, it's hard, right? So if you have no integer. You could say if you have an integer r brackets, you can say you have a C-style array. From type integer. And if you want to access the values of a C-style array, you have to evaluate it. And then it's going to decay into a pointer. And you will get the pointer will point to first element in the array. That should be correct. If it's compiled in C, and that's actually my problem. Do you know why? Because, for example, the first exam is completely in C, but we're using the C++ environment. And if you're going to say now that it is differently in the C++ environment, then I will have a lot of fun. The C-style array defines a variable to continuous block or continue. What does this mean? continuous block of memory with a specified type. Yeah. Wouldn't that contain stud area as well? Kontinuierlich? Danke dir. Danke dir. Just a continuous block of the memory in the stack. Do you know what kind of problems I have? So what I'm gonna do in the exam, if I have 7 statements and all of the statements are wrong because of my knowledge. And I'm just saying all of them are wrong. And I have to argument later on why I am correct. Drew doesn't have to be in... Even, this is a simple question. We have already about this topic a discussion, Nice. And we have here decent developers in chat. It doesn't even have okay, so my answer will be, I will say all these statements are incorrect, and then I just write my own statement underneath it, and I'm just gonna say it can be on the memory. It depends if we're on the C environment or C++ environment, and so on and so on. And I'm still getting 0 points for that, right? So nice. And Sven, your answer in the exam was, no, it was just, I have to write it next Friday. So we can go through the exam, like I have some test exams, what we can do from the last semesters or something like this. And still, I have to do a topic, how it called, Handlungsreisen der C++ or something like this, the problem of the, I don't know even how it's called in English. Traveling salesman, the problem of the traveling salesman, right? Have to. Erfinde das Rad nicht neu. It's a block of memory with many elements. If it's a freshman course. Yeah, but I will have no pointers to the elements, correct? Right, but I wouldn't think that stud array should be considered a C-style array. Oh man, oh. Ay. No, I have 7 statements. Okay, I will bring you over tomorrow the 7 statements. And I hope there will be a correct one. I feel you are getting hung up on the pointer part. Most things in C++ have a pointer of sorts to them, but that's not the defining part of the C-style array. Yeah, but it's not like a definition example. It's just like, okay, this is a C-style array. Which statements are correct? Boom, that's it. You know what I mean? And in my point of view, sometimes I could say just it depends. You know what I mean? On the point of the view. And that's... But is there a difference if you like in the C++ environment, if you're using a C-style array? And no, there is no difference, right? C++ environment versus a C environment by a definition or something like this. If you're not using a stud std array in C++, for example, if you're just using the C-style array. But lettermate, if I not have this answer, then I have to say 7 times all these statements are wrong. I'm gonna, guys, if you're later active in my Discord, right? I will send you this stuff. We can have a discussion about that, you know? Semantically, they are the same. Yeah, that's a question also, right? Are the statements like the meaning semantically or like syntactic wise? You see already the problem? I mean, I had already one time a problem that he called the function a module. And I said like, after 23, I think it's not nice to call a function module. No, I don't like it. Even if you're gonna define it like that. No, this is misleading. It's like asking, what do I tell a flat earther? Yeah, but the problem is I have to know which kind of answer you want to have, right? And that's the reason why I'm not gonna write the exam, what I have to rewrite, like in Informatics 1. I'm not gonna write it this semester. I'm just gonna hop on in Informatics 2. Because I want to write it just by the same professor from the last year and not by a new professor, because I don't know what his focus is. You know, just too risky because there is no room for failure. I don't want to end. I don't want to. I don't want to end up in a situation where I have to, where I think that I know the answer, the correct answer, but I know that he maybe want to have another answer. You know what I mean? And okay, maybe sometimes I'm panicking too much about exams, to be honest. Some people are way more chilled, you know. So we can also use the operator directly on the pointer. If that pointer is holding the address of the first element, the result will be identically. Yeah. Okay. Just because your textbook answer is not there doesn't mean there isn't some equivalent answer written in different ways. Yeah, but sometimes... I mean, I don't want to call it out, but I had already some discussion, right? About some topics. Yeah, maybe in informatics is sometimes like if you're digging deeper and deeper and deeper, you have to be really precise by your answer. Probably it's in math, it's kind of the same. I remember back then we had a math professor and he was like in the lecture kind of raging because we just repeated something what we learned in school. And he said, this definition is completely wrong. Why you should do it like this? This is, I don't want to say what he said, but he said like, this is, if they're saying it like that and they're teaching it like this is not correct. Because it's only correct in this case, right? But sometimes you're getting something simplified in school and you're getting taught, it's always like that and it's not correct, you know? I feel like if you had a solid intuition of arrays by now, you wouldn't be worried about this at all. But the problem is that you never use this stuff. You just read about them and never get a feel for what is an array. I mean, I used a lot of arrays that I made, like for my quicksort algorithm and stuff like this. I used vectors. I used C++ array. I compared them together, right? And way too little. But you don't know what I'm doing off stream, man. And you were also on every stream here, right? And then I did some off-stream programming. I could say I spent some time for programming this algorithm stuff. I tried some stuff out, like implementation-wise. Because I know if I have to write an exam, it have to be like, not that I have to think like a lot about how I'm gonna implement this kind of algorithm. I will not have time for that. I have to know what I'm actually doing. But you are correct. You are correct if you say that I not implemented a lot of C-style arrays. And this is correct, and that's why I'm looking up this topic here, right? Because I not worked a lot with C-style arrays. That's just the truth, because most of the time I just use a vector or like an but it's fine. I think it's fine. I like to learn by my own pace in going through these topics, and I have a lot of I don't know, I should say that. I want to say I have a lot of fun to learn C++. Now it's out, guys. You can clip it and can send me the clip in the right situation, man. I mean, by me, but myself, some people say, okay, they're just taking the definition of an array and that's it, right? And I just want to dig a little bit deeper. I have some question about some topics. Maybe some people of you saying, okay, maybe I'm overthinking that, but I just want to get a deeper view about some stuff, We had already like really good discussion about some topics. That was really interesting. Even the reference versus pointer thing, was really, really interesting. Okay, let's now have to read all these messages. Let's see. But thanks a lot, Lettermate. Also, thanks a lot, guys, for helping me to get better. Like everything you wrote so far, I did in my first 3 or 4 days of learning C++, right? More seriously. Probably you're correct, man. Or maybe I'm also just slow, you know what I mean? Could be also true. Instead to avoid using C-style arrays. The thing is also I wrote already before like code, but it not helped me to understand the language. You know what I mean? I learned to use the stuff, but did I really understood it? That's but he knew that he needs them from the beginning, so just use them. No. I not knew it that I have to use to use the how it called C-style array. I just figured it out where I started to practice a little bit for my exams, because we most of the time just used like the other array thing. It's I don't know. It's a little bit mixed up by in our exam, right? So it's good. I like it. For me, it's a really interesting topic, to be honest. I'm seeing it not really on the bad point of view here. Being able to just use them. It's not like he is writing production code in the beginning. You should know arrays. It doesn't matter about the language. Correct. I use std array or similar most of the time. Yep. In my experience, it it is the best to just read about something and use it in the most... yeah, that's completely correct. Obscure ways you could think of: try to get input parameters from like 3 function call prior, or try to manipulate an array you don't have access to. Just do it. Yeah. You should not do like, okay, I have a question. I'm gonna solve this question one time and I'm gonna repeat always the same thing over and over and over again, because then you're not gonna figure it out, the edge cases. It's the same if you're gonna learn math, for example, right? You have to ask yourself, oh, what's gonna happen if I'm gonna do this? What's gonna happen if I'm gonna do this, right? And then you get getting way better prepared for an exam. But sometimes you not have the time to do this. I can tell you one thing, Sven, that might make you feel better. Nobody really knows C++. That language is messed up. I don't know if it's messed up. It's like, it's sometimes it feels like it's messed up. You think the implementation, the one example, you have this, I remember, that was really misleading for me, where you have this implicit conversion in function overloading, and then you have like, if I'm remembering correctly, the template overloading things, and the implementation was differently, and I expect it is the same. And the implementation was differently because otherwise the implementation for the template would be, back then for them, way harder to implement. So most Fang, what is the Fang companies uses subsets of C++ because of all the crap that the language has. Standard define is standard define it as such. It is as such. You can go into implementation hardware, but it is relevant to what an C-style array is. That's because you didn't write enough. And most important, don't use any libraries, no std vectors, no nothing from the standard library in the beginning. But if you're using a vector, I mean, I wrote also my own string. You remember the Sven string? That was a really good practice. So really good. This is a common misconception, meme. Some people do know C++ really well, but use the Sven string. Why? It's like kind of the same. And the other one is a little bit better, right? It was not usable by any means. Why? I could use it. I got it. What you mean? You mean I should program something for me, and I'm just gonna use it, and after some times I have to optimize it. That makes absolutely sense. I'm not saying I know of anyone who knows every single minute detail, but there are definitely people who knows almost everything. But are you doing it? But I'm doing it. 1 second, it's a little bit too warm here. Yes, this is too warm. Yeah, I'm writing code, boys. I'm doing it off stream. Sometimes I want to just try some stuff off stream out, because on stream it's not that interesting, you know. And then I'm just going through some topics, for example, and then I can ask you a question, if that makes sense. Like here. Okay, keep going with this topic here, that I can finish it. I always view the statement as nobody knows everything exactly of C++, but many people have some knowledge about the stuff at minimum if I asked, and I quickly look up and understand the exact definition, but that it just doesn't flow that well. Okay. I mean, the question is, do you have to know always everything? Like, it depends, right? How deep you want to dig in. Sometimes maybe it's just enough if you know how to use the library. I mean, if you have a hammer, let's go back to the hammer example. Do you have to know how the hammer is constructed? I don't know. You have to know how you can work with the hammer, correct? You not have to know how to build a hammer. I always view the statement as nobody knows. Okay. Okay. So, by the way, Lettermate, are you a little bit into, or do we have some people that are interested in AI stuff, like learning how AI is actually working? I mean, not the hype thing. I mean, in depth, right? About this. I hope you get my point. Array decay solve our C-style array passing issue. I made an object detection AI for a runscape before. Did you use actually a library for that, or do you know how you could train your own model if you would have the horsepower? Was the library okay? If I would go into AI, I would just want to learn first the fundamental thing, the principle, and I know there is not all the information available out there, but some at least. I did train my own models with my own datasets using NVIDIA CUDA. Good night, what's up? Thanks a lot for tuning in. But if I'm in, I thought if you want to really retrain a model, you need like at least 2 million euros. If I'm by my information, if you want to do it the right, correct way. Okay, let's keep going. Array decay solve both challenges we encountered at the top of the lesson. I mean, if you want to do some basic training things, okay, maybe then you not need that much. Then, I don't know. I have no knowledge about this field. When passing a C-style array as an argument, the array decays into a pointer. And the pointer holding the address of the first element of the array is what it's get passed to the function. So although it looks like we are passing the C-style array by value, we are actually passing it by address. This is how making a copy of the C-style array argument is avoided. That's interesting. Maybe we should do some projects like this. Object detection can be fairly easy and restricted set. No, okay, then let's say if you want to do something like ChatGPT thingy wise, you know. If you have a model and then you want to retrain it. For a specific case. Key inside C-style arrays are passed by address even when it looks like they are passed by value. Now consider two different arrays of the same element type but different lengths. For example, integer 5 and integer 7. These are distinct types. Incompatible with each other. However, they will both decay into the same pointer type. Makes sense, doesn't matter the length, right? Because we just losing the length information. their decayed version are interchangeable. What does interchangeable means? Let me check. Dropping the length information from the type allows us to pass arrays of different lengths without a type mismatch. Oh, I don't know if this statement is correct. Obviously, the more you train it, the better it is. That's also not true from my knowledge what I have about this topic. It's not always the case. You can overtrain it if I'm correct. But sometimes the rate at which it's improved is not worth the small improvement in precision and confidence. Then your data sheet is poor. If you could do some AI stuff, I would be really interested to do it, like just to get like the fundamental understanding how it's actually working. But I think a lot of people just using it are not really going that deep into the topic. Well, Lettermate, what is your opinion about AI things? Key insight. 2 C-style errors with the same elements type links. Yeah, okay. In following example, we will illustrate 2 things. That we can pass arrays of different lengths to a single function because both decay to the same pointer type. That our function parameter receiving the array can be const pointer of the array element type. Okay, let's see. So we have print element 0, const integer asterisk ARR passed by const address, std out array 0. So, oh, interesting. Yeah, okay. Then we have const in prime 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna initialize this, and then we're putting in prime and square. Ah, okay. And then we can do it like saying it's const. So prime decays to a const integer pointer, square decays to a const integer pointer. Yeah, interesting. Makes sense. This example works just fine and prints. Yeah. So within main, when we call print element 0 prime, the prime array decays from an array of type const integer 5 to a pointer of type const integer asterisk that is holding the address of the first element of prime. Similarly, when we call prime element 0 squares decays from an array of type const integer 8 to a pointer of type const integer asterisk that is holding the address of the first element of squares. These pointers of type const integer asterisk are what are actually passed to the function as an argument. Since we are passing pointers of type const integer asterisk, our print element 0 function needs to have a parameter of the same pointer type const integer. Within the function, we are subscripting the pointer to access the selected array element. Because the C-style array is passed by address, the function has direct access to the array passed in, not a copy, and can modify its elements. For this reason, it's a good idea to make sure your function parameter is const if your function does not intend to modify the array elements. Yeah, this is good to know. C-style arrays function parameter syntax. One problem with declaring the function parameter as an integer asterisk ARR is that it's not obvious that ARR is supposed to be a pointer to an array of value rather than a pointer to a single integer. Okay. For this reason, when passing a C-style array, it's preferable to use the alternate declaration from integer ARR, square brackets. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you're doing this way. Okay. This is, yeah. To be honest, I really like Learn C++. What do you think about Learn C++? I really like it. So, here we have this example. This program behaves identically identically to the priori one, as the compiler will interpret function parameter const integer AR angle brackets the same as const integer asterisk or asterisk. How it called like this? Can someone write it please quick in check? Is this asterisk or asterisk? I don't know how to pronounce this correct. Oh, I missed a little bit the chat. Sorry, guys. But sometimes the rate which... yes, I can fall into false positives which are hard to get out of it. That's why a lot of AI training is adjusting your training to the performance of the AI. You should look into OpenCV libraries of computer vision interests you. If your model is getting worse, then it means you are training it poorly. Does Sven even know about east const versus west const? No, I don't know it. I don't like AI stuff, as it is also a lot of hard handwork to get it up and running, and then it has mediocre performance in a lot of cases. And there are these weird people that pretend to know a lot about AI, but actually only use models without knowing any. Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of people just using models, and not really understand the math concepts behind it, how it's working. I have what was really interesting. I had like after my exams, I wanna watch with you guys. Where was it? Watch later. What's this? Oh no, I have it on the other account, right? Right, we can shift quick. That was really interesting here.
Like
Wait, where was it? Yeah, he went through the core concept.
Does all the heavy lifting under the hood. It comes from this paper in 2017. Now, if you read this paper, this reads like a pretty random machine translation paper, and that's because I think the authors didn't fully anticipate the impact that the transformer would have on the field, and this architecture that they produced.
Yeah, I want to know a little bit about this architecture and stuff like that. I mean, I think this is really interesting just to get... But you have a lot of math involved also, right? I think it's not an easy topic. And how Ahmed already said, there's a lot of handwork into, you know. It's the first place for beginners in C++. What do you mean? I mean, you could say that about literally everything regarding consume of technology. Yeah, but sometimes I'm wondering also if you're studying why you have to go that deep. But the truth sometimes is you need this knowledge if you want to create something new. So, const integer. Well, I would say you haven't heard of this quote yet. Which quote? Ah, okay. We're talking about another topic right now? When people call something original 9 out of 10 times, they just don't know the reference or source involved. About what kind of topic we're talking? Maybe I just want to be sure that we're talking about the same thing. About AI, okay. I think that the thing is also, a lot of people are hyped for this AI thing. A lot of investors are also kind of hyped for this AI thing. And because of that, a lot of companies hopping on to this AI topic, you know what I mean? Even if they know maybe, you know, maybe it's also, maybe Lettermate would say it's a little bit overhyped. It has potential. It has. But it has also a lot of downsides, probably. Saying to make something, yeah. Could you explain a bit more? What do you mean? Okay, what I want to say, like, sometimes you have, like, I think if you want to do, like, automotive system engineering stuff or something like this, you need the basic knowledge about how microcontrollers are working, right? You have different microcontrollers, different technology involved in that. Sometimes you have to, you know, if you not have this knowledge, of course you can still build a solution. Will it be the best solution? I don't know. You seem doubtful about capability of AI. What do you mean doubtful? Doubtful. No, I think it can has a huge potential. Not gonna lie, it can has a huge potential because you don't. If something, if when a technology is getting hyped, right? A lot of money will get focused on this kind of technology. So you can have a breakthrough, or the chance to have a breakthrough can be then higher, I would say. You know what I mean? But you don't know when the breakthrough will probably come. Right? And I think there are some promises about AI. You can promise actually nothing, I would say. There can be breakthrough, but we have to say, for example, one really good example is atomic energy stuff, right? We thought we will have way earlier like a breakthrough in this topic. We invested a lot of money into that. And the truth is we still are using a energy source where we have no solution how we can recycle recycle the material afterwards. I'm missing just the right English words. I think you get my point. So COX29, are you hyped for AI? I think that's just my point of view, and I have the same point of view than Lettermate, that a lot of people talking about the topic, but there is not a lot of people that has the expertise talking about this topic. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people think they know how AI is working, and actually they're not understanding how AI is working. So I think this is the truth. So the program behaves identically, or we have this already, right? Blah, blah, blah. It has unlimited capabilities. Not currently. That's the same with atomic energy. You know? Yeah, whether I will see it in my lifetime is another question. Yeah, true. There could be also that someone is coming up with completely different idea. You know what I mean? Like, I showed you the YouTube video, and it was one paper release, and it just changed kinda, it seems, the industry because of the new architecture. Yeah, and this is like, you need also a lot of amount of energy to train this kind of modules and stuff like that. And we not have to talk about data loss stuff because you need a lot of data to train this kind of models. There was also kind of the question why we had the power already before, but why it is right now that good, because they have just the data for it to train it, you know. And a lot of people have to sort out this kind of data and have to train it and so on, right? But it has a huge potential, not gonna lie. But so other technology have also like a huge potential. So, okay, let's keep going. However, this is advantage of communication of caller that air. Okay, let's read this here. Again, this program behaves identically to the prior one, as the compiler will interpret function parameter const integer array brackets the same as in const integer asterisk. However, this has the advantage of communicating to the caller that ARR is expected to be a decayed C-style array, not a pointer to a single value. Note that no length information is required between the square brackets, since it is not used anywhere. If a length is provided, it will be ignored. Wow. Okay. Yeah, okay. This is nothing new here. I think it's hyped enough as it should be. We have also other technologies that got like crazy hyped, and there are a lot of examples about this kind of topics, you know what I mean? I mean, if you want to talk about a topic like this, you should talk about some people that have really the knowledge about, right? And the truth is, there is not a lot of people that are really good in this kind of field. Some people prevent that they are good, right? But actually are not. So best practice, function parameter expecting a C-style array type should use the array syntax, yeah, rather than the pointer syntax, yeah. The downside of using a syntax is that it makes it less obvious that ARR has decayed, whereas it's quite clear with the pointer syntax. So you will need to take extra care not to do anything that doesn't work as expected with a decayed array. We will cover some of these in a moment. But it seems 0x29, you're really hyped for this topic. I mean, a lot of people are hyped. But for example, if you have a guy like Lettermate, he has a lot of knowledge. And if he's saying it's media co-performance, I would trust him, to be honest, because he has way more knowledge about math and this kind of stuff. I would trust him. I'm optimistic about it, not hyped. We can do it after my exam. We can just read some papers about AI. I think that could be really interesting. So, okay. The problems with array decay. Although array decay was a clever solution to ensure C-style arrays of different lengths could be passed to a function without making expensive copies,
The loss of array length information make it easy for several types of mistakes to be made. Yeah, true. First size of will return different values for arrays and decay arrays. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh. Sometimes I get the impression that you are just reading and not actually processing what you have read. Sometimes it's like that. Yeah. Then I'm just gonna wait a second and gonna read it, right? A first size of will return different values for an array and decayed array. That makes actually sense. Print 4 assuming a 32-bit address, because then it's the pointer. Print 12, assuming 4 bytes ints, right? Yeah. Oh, that can be like a huge problem, right? So if you have something like this, let me check. Why it's not working? What are we missing? Print size. Just prints array size, right? Is there a mistake? So, okay, then we have that one. $12 and $8. 64-bit, yeah, okay. 4, 4, 4, 12. And we could fix this if we're doing a dereferencing thing, right? If we're doing it like that, then we should... Oh, this is not gonna work. Really? Yeah, of course it's not gonna work. How it should work? We have no length information, so we need the length information, right? Got it. Hey, unkreativ, aber geil. How are you doing? So, what are we doing? We just had like some talk about AI, some talk about C-style arrays. But today the topic is C-style arrays and when they're gonna decay. No? So this means using size of on a C-style array is potentially dangerous, as you have to ensure you are using it only when you can exit the actual array object, not the decayed array or pointer. In the prior lesson 17.7 introduction to C-style arrays, we mentioned that size of array divided by size of asterisk array was historically used as a hack to get the size of the C-style array. This hack is dangerous because if array has decayed, size of array will return the size of the pointer. True. Then the size of the array producing the wrong array length as a result, likely causing the program to malfunction. What is a malfunction, boys? What is a malfunction? Is it called malfunction? Is it? Malfunction. Ah, okay. Blue screen or what? Today's goal is use C-style arrays without making seg false. Imagine if you would produce in exam a segfault with your PC. And all your data is lost, you know. Imagine that. Ooh. Oh man, I would be so sad. Imagine if that would happen like the last 4 minutes or something. And you forgot to save it. Segfaults don't corrupt your data. Okay. Lettermate, you're still here.
We still talked about the AI stuff, you know. We missed you. Fortunately, as C++ 17 better replaced stood size and C++ 20 stood as size will fail to compile if past a pointer value. We had yesterday as size. As a size. And what was the difference? I really forget it already. Wait, maybe it will come again. The knowledge, you know. Okay, if you're using that one, will fail to compile if past a pointer. What is Paul? Is this his new? Is this the new hyped game? Set size. How is it, by the way? I heard a rumor that they're gonna maybe get suited, you know? Not suited. Yeah, it's called suited, right? I like it. You really like it. Nice. What was the difference again? I need the example. I forget it. I had this topic yesterday. That's why you should practice, you know. That's the reason why you should practice. Read and repeat. Do you know, guys, I have no time for gaming. Actually, it's not true, right? You can just take your time for gaming. But I want to program instead or do some sport. And I got not super hooked for the game, you know. And I have to write exams, yeah. This is also true. It was here, right? Ah, that was with the sign and unsigned. Oh, this topic yesterday, true. So here it returns an array length as an unsigned integral value. And if you're using, can use s size, which returns the array length as a signed integral value of a large signed integral type, probably. Okay. Yeah. So my question will fail to compile if past a pointer value. Why this is gonna fail? If you compare it to that one. My question is, does it have to do like with this like unsigned sign? No, right? Because it's just defined this way? Does someone have an answer? Ah, no, both were gonna fail. Yeah, that makes sense because we have no length information. Ah, okay. Okay, everything is fine. Sometimes you just have to read this stuff correctly, then it's fine. So we're getting here compile. No. Compile error std size won't work on a pointer. And now we have that one. And it's going to print 3. Because we have the size information. And this here is not going to work because we will not have the size information. Good to know, really good. So, second and perhaps most importantly, Aries decay can make a refactoring breaking long function into shorter, more modular function difficult. Code that works as expected with a non-decayed array may not compile, or worse, may silently mol function when the same code is using a decayed array. Third, not having length information creating several programmatic challenges. Programmatic challenges. Without length information, it is different to sanity check the length of the array. Users can easily pass in arrays that are shorter than expected or even pointers to a single value, which will then cause undefined behavior when they are subscripted with an invalid index. I remember back then where I wrote my CSV file parser. I did this thingy here, right? With this, yeah, I did this one. And you told me, guys, I'm remembering, this is not good. Now I know why, you know. Or can be dangerous, right? So what is a sanity check? Please let me know. So let's see this one. We have an integer array. How do we ensure that the array has at least 3 elements? Yeah, true. So we have that one. It has 3 elements, and then we say 2. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. If we have less, so we have say, okay, 2. So we want to, this here compiles but produce undefined behavior. Ooh. Yeah. That's why. I mean, this is a really good example why you should not use in a bigger code base like an integer array, right? Because something like this could happen, right? If you would just... Oh, yeah. Not having the array length also created challenges when traversing the array. How do we know when we have reached the end? There are solutions to these issues, but these solutions add both complexity and fragility to a program. Working around array length issue. Historically, programmers have worked around the lack of array length information via one of 2 methods. First, we can pass in both the array and the array length as a separate argument. Constant array, and then we have the length correctly. And then we have like, okay, const x per integer a, then we have 3, 2, 1, and then we say print element, and then we have the size, and in the array static cast int, and then we have the size here. Yeah, everything is fine, and then we have it. Okay, why is this bad now? Let's check. However, this still has numbers of issues. The caller needs to make sure that the array and the array lengths are paired. Yeah, if the wrong value of the length is passed in, the function will still mol function. There are potential sign conversion issues if you're using std size or a function that returns a length as std size t. Or a function that returns a length as sign conversion issues. If you're using std size. True. Okay. Runtime assets only trigger when encountered at runtime. If your testing path doesn't cover all calls to the function, there there's a risk of shipping a program to a consumer that will assert when they do something we didn't expectly test for. In modern C++, we do want to use static asserts for compile time validation of the array length of the const_expr array. But there's no easy way to do this, as function parameters can be const_expr even in const_expr or const_eval functions. As function parameters can't be const_expr even in const_expr or const_eval functions. This is really good to know. Some people don't know this, right? Function parameters can't be const_expr. This method only works if we are making an explicit function call. If the function call is implicit, for example, we're calling an operator with an array as an operand, then there is no opportunity to pass in the length. Second, if there is an element value that is not semantically valid, for example, a test score of -1, we can instead mark the end of the array using an element of that value. That way, the length of the array can be calculated by counting how many elements exist between the start of the array and this terminating element. The array can also be traversed by iterating from the start until we hit the terminating element. The nice thing about this method is that it works even with implicit function calls. Yeah, I mean, that's what we did already. One time, at least. Key insight. C-style strings, which are C-style arrays, use a null terminator to mark the end of the string so that they can be traversed even if they have decayed. I mean, you could just, yeah, makes sense. I mean, you could always do this like null terminator thing, right? I mean, okay, never mind. Just forget what I said. So, but this method also has a number of issues. Here we go. This will be interesting. If the terminating element does not exist, traversal will walk right off the end of the array, causing undefined behavior. Well, you have so many pitfalls in C++. It's insane. Functions that traverse the array need special handling for the terminating element. For example, a C-style string print function needs to know not to print the terminating element. This is a good point. There's a mismatch between the actual array length and the number of semantically valid elements. If the wrong length is used, the semantically invalid terminating element may be processed. This approach only works if a semantically invalid value exists, which is often not the case. Okay. Oh, this is a long topic. Are we close? Close to the end. And then in the end, it's probably something like, don't use it. I don't know. C-style arrays should be avoided in most cases. Yeah, okay. Because of the non-standard passing semantics, pass by address is used instead of pass by value, and risk is associated with decayed arrays losing their length information. C-style arrays have generally fallen out of favor. We recommend avoiding them as much as possible. Best practice: avoid C-style arrays whenever practical. Prefer stood string view for read-only strings, string literal, symbolic, constant, and string parameters.
prefer stood string for modifiable strings, prefer stood array for non-global const expert arrays, prefer stood vector for non-const expert arrays. Okay. It is okay to use C-style arrays for global const expert arrays. We will discuss this in a moment. Okay, when you should use the vector, when you should use the array thing, guys? Please let me know. Okay. As an aside, in C++, arrays can be passed by reference, in which case the array argument won't decay when passed to a function, but the reference to the array will still decay when evaluated. However, it's easy to forget to apply this consistently, and one missed reference will lead to a decaying argument. Also, array reference parameters must have a fixed length, meaning the function can only handle arrays of one particular length. If we want a function that can handle arrays of different length, then we also have to use function templates. But if you're going to do both of those things to fix C-style arrays, then you might as well just use stood array. Okay. Okay, makes sense. Okay. So in C++ I can just put, wait a second. So that means if I have something like this, correct? I can pass it with like a reference? I'm confused. But that's not working, right? This makes no sense. Have to put here in reference? Huh? No. What I'm not understanding here. So again, in C++ arrays can be passed by reference, in which case the array argument won't decay when passed to a function, but the reference to the array will still decay when evaluated. Why it's not working then? I mean, I just tried it. I have here an array, just gonna pass it by reference. Only C++ arrays, okay. There's like in C++ arrays, you know, why should you, I mean, that means then all arrays, right? For me, at least. Okay. So then I'm not understanding this quote here. If we want to want a function that can handle arrays of different lengths, then we also have to use function templates. Yeah, but if you're going to do both of those things to fix C-style arrays, then you might as well use just stood array.
Now I'm super confused. No, this is also C-style array. Okay, what is then a C++ array, man? Okay, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, then it's maybe I should translate it. I'm not getting this quote here. Maybe it's a language barrier. I'm just gonna translate it quick. So the quote means just that we should use like this stood array or what? Am I understanding this correctly? Correct, I mean. Hey, Kekwickler, how are you doing? So, when are C-style arrays used in modern C++? In modern C++, C-style arrays are typically used in two cases. To store const x per global, to store const x per global or const x per static local program data. Because such arrays can be accessed directly anywhere in the program. We do... okay. Well, I have to do the static stuff again, and wow, yeah. C++ is so big, man. Because such arrays can be accessed directly from anywhere in the program, true. We do not need to pass the array, which avoids decay-related issue. The syntax for defining C-style arrays can be a little less wonky than stood array. More importantly, indexing such arrays does not have sign conversion issues like the standard library container classes do. Wow, it's crazy. I mean, at least you have some scenarios where you should use some C-style array, right? But like it's like you're programming in C++ and you have to walk through a field of mines, or hot called mining field, right? Minenfeld? Was heißt Minenfeld? Minefield.
Minefield.
Yeah. Minefield, right? Okay. You're only doing that exam next semester? Which exams? No, I'm doing the harder one this semester. The easy one I'm gonna do next semester. Because I'm gonna do it by the same professor. I don't want to add some variables what I not can handle, maybe, you know what I mean? I want to take a little bit out the risk. So... as parameters to function or classes that want to handle non-const x per C-style string arguments directly, rather than require a conversion to string view. There are two possible reasons for this. First, converting a non-const x per C-style string to a std string view require traversing the C-style string to determine its length. If the function is in a performance critical section of code and length is needed. Okay, makes sense. For example, because the function is going to traverse the string anyway, then avoiding the conversion may be useful. Second, if the function or class calls other functions that expect a C-style string, converting to a std string view just to convert back may be suboptimal unless you have other reason for wanting a std string view. Oh, you have to oh, this is so terrible. But at least, I mean, yeah, wow. Interesting topic, right? If you're programming like in a bigger environment, you have to know all these thingies, right? If performance matters, right? When to use the C-style area, when you should not use it. But you could say, like, most of the time it's better not to use it. If you're not experienced enough, if you don't know what's going on. Correct? I think I'm finished for today. I have my 2 hours. It's time to play some games. Just kidding. Yeah, probably I will. I don't know. We can watch a YouTube video, but most of the time, if you're doing this 2 hours, I need a break. You know what I mean? And then most of the time, I'm just sitting down and try to repeat the stuff. But I just join. I mean, you can just have some talking about some topics. But I think this was really interesting. This topic, the C-style arrays, and not expected. It is so an interesting topic. I mean, even this one, like performance-wise, this is really interesting. Okay, quickly, are you also playing this new hyped game? Let's do this quiz. Oh man. Okay. But I don't want to program. What is the array decay and why is it a problem? Should I answer this question, guys? I mean, we talked like... That's why a quiz are for. Okay, what is the array decay? An array decay is like if I putting like in a function argument an array, it's or if I'm evaluating the array, it's gonna decay. So it will get implicitly converted into a pointer that points to the first element. And now to the question, why is this a problem? Because we're gonna lose the length information about the array. Are you happy with this answer? Nice. Now you have maybe let I make this just thinking. Oh, maybe I have still a little bit hope in this guy. You know, maybe there's still a little bit hope. So when a C-style array is evaluated in most contexts, it will be implicitly... oh man. Oh no, this sentence. When a C-style array is evaluated in most contexts, it will be implicitly converted to a pointer to the array elements type. Why we have this wording most context? So that means we have context that it will not be converted. What is the context? Or he is just writing it. Maybe there will be some context. I don't know. So decayed array lose their length information, which makes it easier for length-related bugs to introduced into the program. Right? Yeah. Okay. Why do C-style strings, which are C-style arrays, use a null terminator? I mean, so why C-style strings, which are C-style arrays, use a null terminator? Because if you have no null terminator and we iterate through this C-style string, we don't know which is the end. That's why we're using a null terminator. So we have a pointer to the C-style, to the beginning, if it's getting like evaluated, and if it's getting like implicitly converted to a pointer that points to the first element, we have to know what is the last element, right? Otherwise, we could end up in a how it called? A segfault? Undefined behavior? When a C-style array is passed to a function, it decays and loses its length information. If C-style strings didn't have a null terminator, the function would not be able to determine how long the string was. Yeah. So, extra question. Okay. Extra credit. Why do C-style strings use a null terminator instead of requiring both? Wait. Why do C-style strings use a null, right? It's called null. Use a null terminator instead of requiring both the decayed C-style string and explicit length information to pass to a function? Woo, this is a good question. Let me think. Maybe I can get I know this information. I would say maybe it's a design argument that they implemented like that in a C-style string. Because the problem is, if you put the wrong length information in the function argument, then you screwed over again. You know what I mean? That's why it's probably better to use a null terminator instead. Always for a C-style string. Because if you're putting the wrong length into the function argument, you screwed over. And you have the problem if you're doing it like this, so with this explicit length information, you have the problem with this size that you could. Where was it? There was something. You can use different. You could use different functions to get the size informations, and sometimes you're getting another size, right? And then the size is not correct, and if you putting the size information in the argument, you're ending up with the wrong size of the C-style string. I don't really like the question, but I would guess they argue with overhead maybe. Yeah. Let's see. Consider the case where we are printing a string using std out. The argument is like... Yeah, but I think you're correct. You're adding an overhead then. I think you're correct. It has something to do with the overhead. Passing both the C-style string and the explicit length information is only possible if a function is called explicitly. If a function is called implicitly, there is no way to pass along the length information. Consider a statement like std out str binary operator can only take two operands, std0 and SSTR. There is no way to pass another argument representing the length information. The null terminator approach doesn't have this issue. Answer is also not the best. Yeah, okay. So 80 points from 100, right? I mean, I'm not a fan of this question. I'm also not. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're learning C++, you're just learning this rulebook, right? Now, I would give you all the points. Last question is stupid. Okay. Wow. You would be a nice professor, Lettermate. Oh, but I think it would be hard to write exams, right? If you're gonna create some. You would like, I don't like this answer. It's not precise enough. That's completely wrong. You're getting 0 points. No. You're doing, at the moment, you pay PhD, correct? Oh, what a long journey. I think the thing is many languages do exactly what they describe and they answer it with "it can be done," which is really dumb. Are you doing the bachelor? Okay, okay. I mean, still in physics is super hard, right? Holy moly. Oh, subscript operator, parenthesis operator. This stuff I want to finish after my exams because I'm not needing it for my exams. It's kind of an overkill, but it helps a lot for understanding how C++ is working. But we're not using that much about C++. Not that much C++. I also really like this move thingy, right? Oh, I have to learn about unique pointers. Also really interesting topic. And I'm really looking forward for some interesting project. Maybe I should plan a bigger project, I think. But I don't know in which kind of... I don't want, gonna lie, I would like to make a physics engine or something. Like a really... rudimentary, fundamental. No, yeah. I think you get my point. Hey Ulf, how you doing? Welcome. We are already 2 hours and 20 minutes in. We finished the topic C-style arrays. I learned they can be really dangerous. To be honest, I did this topic already 3 months ago in the beginning because I had like this kind of problems in my CSV file parser. Oh. Should we do some YouTube videos, like watching some YouTube videos and have some discussion about it? I remember we were talking about OOP before all of this. Crazy to think about it. Yeah. And actually, it was like, maybe it has also something to do about that I thought it now already a lot about, not a lot about programming, but the basic stuff. And actually, it's not true. Because sometimes in university, you're doing a lot of overjumping about some topics. I mean, to be honest, I think it's not good in the beginning, if you have 2 semesters, to do object-oriented programming. I think to understand object-oriented programming, you should at least understand a little bit over like this operator overloading things and iterators. And if you then realize, oh, this is also an object, everything makes way more sense then. I'm still not, to be honest, I'm still not sure if I could describe correctly what object-oriented programming means. You know what I mean? I could describe it, but I don't know if my answer would be correct. Wait, I have to check my mobile phone. Iterations and operator overloading are not really a part of OOP. I mean, they are objects, correct? You can do not stuff like this in C. That's why you're actually correct. It's not like a part of. You can. Yeah. Yeah, well, operator and overloading you can't. Yeah, that's what I mean. For that, you need like object-oriented programming, correct? I mean, what would be your answer if you had like the question, what is object-oriented programming? I mean, you have like the ability to describe a real-life object in your programming environment. And because you can inherit and doing all this stuff, right? You have inheritance, you have this overloading thingies and whatever. I watched a really interesting video about inheritance and what is the benefit. And it's like you can benefit from inheritance, but there's also a downside, right? It has also its limits. Or there are like 3 pillars of OOP. I only remember the encapsulation pillar. What are pillars, guys? The thing is, I just realized if you have a struct, right, you're also creating kind of an object, correct? In C. But it's then not object-oriented programming. So inheritance is also not really OOP. It's more about how the things interact with each other that makes it OOP. Yeah, what does it means? It's already in the name, right? Object. So you're creating an object. Object-oriented programming. That's OOP. Encapsulation. Okay. Yes, you can build some sort of hierarchy that abstract array the functionality of your program. But I'm still not sure if I really understand what object-oriented programming is. You know what I mean? If you say, okay,
I mean, where was the sentence read? Blah, 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 more things. I don't know if I... What is object? Let's see the answer. Here, object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects, which can contain data and code. Data in the form of fields and code in the form of procedure. Computer programs are designed by making them out of objects that interact with one and another. Ooh, so right. Yeah, you see polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, classes, objects, inheritance. So you would say this is then wrong that I made. You said inheritance have nothing to do with object-oriented programming. What is behavior in encapsulation? What this does this means? What is this? Did we have it here somewhere? Somewhere, objects. The process of combining data and behavior together into a single unit is called an object. The data and behavior should be made hidden from the another object and the developer. The object can then be assigned to a variable that can be passed around as if it's an element of code. Encapsulation allows the definition and implementation of interface between different objects. I want to check this up. I mean, I need good source. Oh, I'm not trusting the sources, that's the problem. But it's not easy, as many want to believe. By behavior encapsulation, I mean encapsulation of code. How you can write methods inside a class. Okay, that makes sense. Because then you can just describe an object with this, you know. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you can have an apple, and then you know, okay, the apple is this, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, got it. Yeah, you can just define objects then, right? So, and you could not do something like this in C. Because in C, you could not have these function thingies, right? For example, you can say you would not be able to have an object a function. Okay. You could. Oh, really? But you not have a constructor. Abstraction versus encapsulate data, encapsulate example. Tutorials.
You prefer storing stuff locally or as cloud? This is one of my big reasons to hate C, so I'm pretty sure you can't. It's so funny. It's so funny. We have like just basic discussion about some topics. Abstraction can make your code worse. Constructor are just a helper that gets called automatically, so you could just write a function that initializes the object and call it every time you create one. True. Okay, now you mean like you could do everything in C. It makes sense. You could do everything in C, what you could do also in C++ if you would program it by your own. Correct? So you could just say C have no OOP by default. Well, you can simulate OOP, but C doesn't have code encapsulation. You can only define global functions. It doesn't have language features for it. Well, you can encapsulate. Oh man, now we have a deep talk again. It's so funny though. Oh man, it's so good. Yo. I think this is good. Let's watch this video here.
Data encapsulation in C++, another very important concept in object-oriented programming. All C++ programs are composed of the following two fundamental elements. One is the program statements, so that is
you can't encapsulate code inside an object struct. Okay. So for example, void, create object, void, free object, void, that encapsulate the whole object which is given in a void. As the function are global.
Is our code. This is the part of the program that performs actions and they are called functions. So first part is known as the program statements or codes. That second part is our program data. So the data is the information of the program which affected by the program functions. Affected means will be accessed, will be read, will be written with the new data by the respective program functions. So here we are having two main things. One is the program statements, also known as codes, and the
not if you don't include them. And the key part is that the object could be anything, but you don't have any access to it, whatever.
One is our program data. Encapsulation is an object-oriented programming concept that binds together the data and functions that manipulate the data and that keeps both safe from outside interference and misuse. Data encapsulation led to the important object-oriented programming concept of data hiding. So this is another very related term with this data encapsulation, that is data hiding. We know that all those members, they might be member variables, might be member functions, which will be defined under the public section, will be accessible from the outside world. So outside world can only know their names, how to call them, how to access them, how to do some read and write on the member variables under the public sections. But those members which will be under the private sections, as they are not accessible from the global world, so they will remain hidden. So our class implementation, in our class implementation, we shall have to decide that which members are to be kept hidden and which members are to be accessed from the outside world. It is a common practice, not it is mandatory, but it is a common practice that all the data members we usually keep within the private section, so that from the outside world none should get manipulate those data and misuse those data. So now we are going for the next paragraph, that is data encapsulation is a mechanism of bundling the data and the functions that use them, and data abstraction is a mechanism of exposing only the interfaces and hiding the implementation details from the users. We are telling that member functions can be accessed from the outside world if they are defined under the public sections, but access means only you can call them with the required arguments, but the actual implementation, the actual coding which is residing under those functions, that part will remain hidden to the outside world. So from the outside world,
It's not that easy, right? It's the concept. You have to understand the concept behind it, but it's really interesting. You, sure, you can be smart about your includes or use patterns. Those do not constitute OOP style code. Encapsulation, as you cannot encapsulate method inside the object or struct.
world, it cannot be guessed that what is the code written within the function itself. Only the interface will be accessible. So from the outside world, it cannot be guessed that what is the code written within the function itself. Only the interface will be accessible if we know the function prototype and detailing. But the written code inside the member functions are totally remain hidden. They will remain hidden to the external world. C++ supports the properties of encapsulation and data hiding through the creation of user-defined types called the classes. We already have studied that a class can contain private, protected, and public members. By default, all items defined in a class will be under the private section. If we don't mention any section, then obviously it will be under the private section. So that is the default section for C++ programming. So now let us go for one sample.
So so the point you are making is that you can't do object do stuff on the object, and that is true to some extent in C, but as started earlier, I could add a member variable to object that is a function pointer to do stuff object asterisk object, and then add a macro that adds an automatically. So in the end, there is absolutely no difference in the syntax. Now we have a deep dive discussion about some things here.
Code here. So class box, it is under the public section. We have defined one function that is get volume. This function is written under the public section. That means it can be accessed from the outside world. But all the data members, they have got written within the private sections. So no external unwanted, unauthorized.
I like that you have like the private down, right? And you have the public and the private down there. I really like this.
Interfaces, interference, and accessing of this data will be possible. So that's why they have got written under the private section. The variables length, breadth, and height are private. This means that they can be accessed only by other members of the box class and not by any other part of your program. This is one way encapsulation is ensured. And achieved. To make parts of a class public, that is accessible from other parts of your program, you must declare them after the public keyword, and all variables or functions defined after the public specifier are accessible by all other functions in your program. So a member function, irrespective of that fact whether it is under public, private, or protected, can access all other member functions and member variables defined under the same class. Making one class a friend of another exposes the implementation details and reduces encapsulation. The idea is to keep as many of the details of each class hidden from all other classes as possible. So only the friend class friend function implementation
Was a good video,
will
right? Was a good
go for
video.
some.
I like it. It was good. I mean, yeah, this is... Rust versus Go, the ultimate showdown. I have a question for you guys. Why, it seems like if you're checking all these programming videos, why not a lot of new people joining C++? I mean, C++ is powerful, isn't it? I mean, if you want to do web development, I understand it that you not want to do C++, but I think it's really good to know it, like at least the basics. Or am I wrong?
Shamir.
Does Parmesan have a new video? It was just... I mean, I had a video what I want to watch. Was it here in history? I think I will bring it to the end for today, to be honest. I think it's enough. I want to practice maybe a little bit off stream. And then I will come back tomorrow again with some practice. I mean... Oh yeah, tomorrow what we could do is like... the problem about the... How it's called? Handels... Reisen there. Traveling salesman, the problem of the traveling salesman. We could do some problem solving for this kind of problem for tomorrow. So thanks a lot for helping me today again. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and probably see you tomorrow again. Ulf is just writing something. If even with your function pointers, you will be using global functions. For example, your code is not actually encapsulated by your object. I like this, you know, guys, if you're doing big discussion here in chat. I can encapsulate them in a CPP file. Here we go! Let's go for the battle! So Noon has actual, access to it other than the object. Here we go. This flexing, man. This is so funny. I don't say it's a good to do this, but you can write 100% OOP in C if you really try hard. We should have in my Discord a discussion about this topic. I want to see that eFull is gonna... Wait. I will bring him over. Wait, can you come quick into...
Can you join quick the Twitch chat? Let's see what eFool is saying. Here we go. Let's go. Okay. Let's go into chatting here. Here we go. I'm just waiting for eFool. Let's see. He's not answering, so oh my god. Guys, maybe we should write our own C++ thingy, right? Oh, and guys, you are great. You know this. But then again, you could maybe add something that keeps track of all objects and defer that to this object. But you could also say that C by default can't handle the OOP. You know what I mean? You have in C++ this default implementation for OOP, and you're missing that in C++ in C, and you have it in C++. I mean, we have this quote: everything what could be written in C++, you can write it also in C. I think we need to keep it on a language level, as encapsulation is a language level concept. If you consider it on a machine code level, definitely breaks down. Yeah, true. Then then you could also say everything could be written in assembly. You know, I mean, assembly could have the same concept or whatever, but it's always depends. I mean. Lettermate, would you agree with eWolf that we should keep it on a language level, as encapsulation is a language level concept? Would you agree? Yeah. Interesting. Sorry, that was what Sven said. Well, you can simulate OOP in most languages, but that isn't really what I'm interested in. Once and I exercise to simulate OOP in a Lisp. Okay. Do you know, guys, what I'm wondering? Because we're chilling here right now a little bit, right? I'm wondering, you know, why you even should program in Rust if you have C++. You know, in the beginning of my C++ journey, I was maybe a little bit hyped for Rust. I mean, Rust helps you if you... I mean, you can't compile something that is kind of wrong, right? But you could have still a memory leak. And it's also a double-edged sword, right? Because you will have higher compile time. Because of the barrow checker, etc. Lettermate is gonna imagine if I, you know, after my exams just jumping over to Rust, I think Lettermate would lose his mind. He was like, oh no, what he's doing now, he just should program doing some big projects. Stop comparing to other languages, please. Use one of for a bigger project and you may see some good and bad parts about it. You're not in the position to argue for against it right now. The question is, will I be ever in the position against you? Probably no. I checked already some Rust videos and stuff like this. That's why I'm saying that. I'm getting the base concept behind it. But, you know, I don't know how to say it, but if I'm learning more, I had like the feeling if I'm learning more and more C++, maybe then I would get more hyped for Rust. But it's the other way around. You know what I mean? I'm understanding the concept idea behind it. I truly don't care what language you write in. You could switch to Python tomorrow. I'm just always saying that the core concepts stay the same and you would struggle with them in any language. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think about this, you're completely right. And that's why I think, yeah, a lot of people are like, have this discussion, Rust versus C++, whatever, right? But in the end, does not matter that much, I would say. Means depends on what you want to develop, right? Maybe C++ is not the best thing if you want to develop like web applications or whatever. But if you're comparing Rust and C++, both can work, so. No, I mean just people that's starting programming. You know what I mean? They're like kind of more hyped for Rust than C++. And I think... Is it just because C++ is older? I mean, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Yes, of course, start with the language that benefits your personal interest. Does make sense to start with C++ if you want to do website design. I mean, you could do also like a web application with C++ if you really want to try, right? Could be also an interesting project. But it depends. But I think C++ is a good language for learning. Maybe it's better to start with C and then go into C++. I think this, if you
if you have the willpower to say, I'm learning C, the concepts, algorithm, all the stuff in C, and then I still have enough willpower to go over the same topics in C++, I think this is a good way. Instead of going instantly into C++. Maybe that's a big project you should do, make a website with database. Maybe I should do a website, an e-commerce website with a database. I mean, I programmed already something in C++ that you can at least connect to a MySQL database and manipulate some stuff in the database. I did this already in the past. I think if you're doing what you can do also, like some database stuff in C++ is also kind of interesting and can be useful. You can use some API calls in C++. You find a web framework for C++. I checked already for web frameworks. They're not really good ones. Maybe a good project would be to understand how a web server is working, trying to program my own web server or something, you know, to understand the base concept about it. I think that could be a fun project. What do you mean? Question mark? Question mark? What made you say that? What? Are there good web frameworks for C++? Really? Do you have an example? I checked already some. For some. Yeah, there are some there, but they're not like, know what I mean? Not like that juicy. The thing is, I don't know. Maybe what I'm gonna do. I don't know if Lettermate is gonna like it, but just programming a little bit more and doing some trying to solve some lead code problems, and then after that, if I'm getting more practice, to go for a bigger project, like I don't know. Could say I'm doing some graphic stuff, but I checked it out already. This is like also maybe I'm going for some database stuff. That could be more interesting. I don't know. Because graphics is like insane. Lysium, okay. But every project will be then... No, okay. Let's check it quick. Lead code is pain, but it's good for practice to get like some edge cases, I would say. Without being a... Look at this. Without being a... Or you can't see it, I have to scroll it up. Right, 1 second, boys. With this being... Without being a C++ expert. No, I mean, just I'm getting this point, what you're saying, Lettermate, but just can you say lead code is good to get better in your that you learning? That you improving your base concepts in C++ or something like this? You know, that you have a problem and you know how to solve it? That you getting better to solve problems? What you... I don't know how to say it in English. Yeah, in problem solving in general, yes. I mean, you know, if I would do like problem solving in lead code, I would do it like, okay, I'm trying to solve it, and then I would try it. Could I solve it with other features in C++? You know what I mean? Actually, what I did with the quicksort, okay, I have my quicksort solution. I solved the problem. Can I make it better? How could I make it better? Which of the tools what I know could I use to make it better? Or it's stupidly easy, okay. So you did lead code. How many lead code problems you solved? I mean, what we could do, I could have like a bigger project and just doing a little bit lead code on the side. You know, I don't know, 2 times per week or something. 400, 500. Holy moly. You can get hired already, huh? You know, that's so funny. He's saying, oh, don't do lead code. But I did like 400, 500. It's not a big thing, right? So, yeah. Oh, you're so good, man. You're so good. So you got like no skill out of that after you solved the 400, 500 problems? You earned no skill out of this lead code thingies? Would you say that? I did 7 code wars before. I realized it wasn't worth my time, but it still does them when I'm bored. Yeah, I think it's good for practice still, right? It's still good for practice. I don't want to do 1000 or something, but I think something like 200, 300 could be really good. It seems also sometimes programmers have no idea for a project. Is this a thing? Lettermate, why are you not trained to make your own physics engine? Would be a huge, big project for you, huh? No, I'm not underestimating this thing. After I saw from one guy speed running the triangle thing in OpenGL, I'm not underestimating. Underestimated. I don't know what to do with it. That's the problem. I mean, you're just doing it for practice, right? To just get better in the language. You're just earning a skill. I mean, I really like the simulation stuff, what you could do. I mean... Yeah, that's the problem. I'm past the practice point. What do you mean? Yeah, but this is really good. I mean, do you really pass this practice point? Could you do it like without reading something up? Like, you know what I mean? Without any problem. Like, I'm so good. Okay, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. What's up? The good thing about, you know, what I can do, because I'm doing business stuff, I can just, with not a lot of work, can just do some little code projects that automate some things what I have to do by daily basis, and that's really cool. And probably you not have this, right? It's not realistic to create a big project without Googling. For example, I did a multiplayer game this month for me and my friends to play, so that was fun and I could share it with others, but a physics engine is just for looky. Do you have the game? Is it nice? Is it like... But I'm actually playing with OpenGL at the moment, so there is a non-zero chance I end up making a physics engine. It's crazy, right? Maybe you should just try Vulkan. I heard it's way easier than OpenGL. Yeah, I get this point, yeah. I mean, it's the same in math, right? The same thing. Sometimes you're realizing your approach is not the best one. But looky projects are sick. I'm working on a beta sim a while back, and it's one of the few projects you can show to non-tech people, and they still think it's cool. Yeah. I mean, you could do also AI things. It could be also interesting, right? But the truth is, you not have the power to do like really cool work with it. That would say, oh, I can use it like in a real life scenario or something. I don't know. You can do like proof of concept things. But for the other stuff, you're just missing the horsepower. I mean, you could say, okay, you could try other concepts out, right? Fine-tuning, can you get far? Yeah, then we could try. I mean, we could also do a project together if you want, guys, like an open source project or a closed project or whatever. I don't know if I'm getting better. You just have to come up with an idea. Yeah, true. I'm gonna do some project. What I want to do, I want to do the repricer, and I want to do this server-side tracking tool. But I think it really not like insane big project. If you're doing the server-side tracking thing, the most problem is that every e-commerce shop is using a different language, you know, a framework. And that's the problem. Because you have to do then implementation in the framework. Because if you have in the get request, you need like in the get request, you need like the sale number. That's it. And then you can just read out this data if you and then make it incognito. You can read out the data, so that the data is not anymore person related, and you're fine. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Have a nice day, man. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Kek 7. But it's insane. It seems like a lot of people have they want to have a project that's like fun for them. I'm just doing like programming something for like because I want to learn something new. And not have to be like super excited about that. I just want to improve my skill. But I get it. You're like already experienced programmers. I get this point. What could be also really interesting if you're gonna try to write your own driver or something. You could do something like this. Or embedded system programming can be also interesting to dive into this kind of topic. But this will be then way more hardware related. But would be for me interesting because I back then learned the basics of this hardware stuff. So relearning, I think I would benefit from it. Although 90% of my projects are abandoned. That's why I want you to do a bigger project, because it will let you have a result at the end, which is a lot of enjoy, at least for me. I mean, I don't know, for me, it's not like... For me, the way is more important. You know that I did like back then music production. And of course, it's really nice to have the result. But most of the time, if you achieve to finish your project, right? If you say it's finished, it's another thing, right? Most of the time you're saying, it's still not perfect, right? But if you finish your project, the project is done, right? It's done. You're like, okay. Well, you don't, you make a 3D name. I'm not like in this... I would rather do like a physics engine or something like this, and like that you can simulate something, or like only a case or something, right? Fluid simulation or something like this. That would be like for me interesting. Way more interesting than a 2D game or something. I don't know why. Because that would be okay. I learned it back then, for example, a case, and now I can visualize it with my skill what I earned. That would be really cool. Could do what is a rigid body physics? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. True. Water simulation is just a ton of math. Yeah. It's also really good, so I can learn more math. You know what I mean? But first, what I'm gonna do is like my server-side tracking thing, and
I want to also improve my CSV file parser. What I could do with my CSV file parser, that I could do something like, that I could do something like, checking if that a client can log in, for example, that a client can log in, and then I have data on the MySQL database if this client exists or not, if the client have a license or not, license. That would be also really cool. So that I can learn the base concepts. I think I will do something like this. It's enough challenging for me. Linear algebra. I think I have this topic. Yeah. I remember. Haha. Haha. Oh yeah. It's really nice to redo this stuff. I had it back then in university. Nice. Okay. We can test the robustness of your license system. Yeah. I think the license system would be a nice project. So, okay, guys, I'm heading out for today. Thanks a lot for your support, Kek7, and see you next time. Bye-bye.